this video, we're going to identify computer systems in everyday life, and we're going to define a computer system as a combination of hardware and software that takes inputs, processes them, and produces outputs. We're going to describe different types of hardware and software. So what is a computer? You'd recognize this as being a computer by traditional terms, and you will have seen them at school, maybe even at home. But we actually interact with multiple different types of computers every day. And you might not have associated these with being computer systems. So what is it that all of these have in common? What is it that makes all of these digital devices computer systems? Well, a computer system takes data as inputs, processes them, and produces outputs. Now those inputs are electronic signals, so it could be the click of a mouse or the press of a keyboard. And that process is where we're processing data and instructions. So that could be rendering the graphics of a video game or simply performing a calculation on a calculator. And finally, an output, which is produced either by displaying a message on a screen, or it could be making sound come out of the speakers of your computer. A calculator takes in electronic signals, the button press of the number 5, and the multiplication sign, and the number 10. Now these are all electronic signals. When we press them into our calculator, we're just inputting data. So we need to process that data and those instructions to make sense of it, and we want to get a result. So once that's processed by our calculator, it's going to be displayed to the screen, and that will be in the form of the result, 50. So a calculator is a type of computer system where we take an input as electronic signals, we process data and instructions, the data being the numbers, the instructions being the multiplication symbol and the equal sign, and we produce an output, the result, which is displayed on the screen. Hardware and software. So computer systems consist of hardware and software working together to process data. What is hardware? Well, the physical parts of a computer system. And software, the programs, applications, and data in a computer system. Any parts of the computer system that aren't physical. Now you interact with hardware every single day, and they're the physical parts of the computer system, the mouse, the keyboard, or the monitor. Even the speakers, these are all parts of a computer system. On the inside of this computer system, we've got parts like the CPU, or ROM, or RAM, which are integral parts of a computer system. So these are the physical components. The programs and applications and data in a computer system, or any parts that aren't physical, these are what we call software. And these are in all of your devices, so Android or iOS operating systems. Those are software. Your program that you're writing is being written, it is software, and it's being written in a software platform. And all the apps in your phone, well, apps is short for applications, and those are all software based, and they run on a computer system. So let's summarize our definition. A computer system takes data as inputs, it processes it, and produces outputs. They are made up of a combination of hardware and software. So, can you identify which is a computer system? Well, if we take a look at the first picture, which is a chair, does it take inputs? No. Does it process anything? No. Is there an output? No. It is made up of physical components, but there's no software. So I think we can say that a chair is not a computer system. What about a mouse? Well, it does take inputs because it's got the mouse buttons which you can click, but there's no process taking place, and the output doesn't occur on the mouse. It is hardware, but there's no software. That's all part of the complete computer system. Finally, what about a tablet? Well, it does take inputs in the form of a touchscreen. It can process those inputs as well. It produces outputs through the screen. We can visually see videos. There are physical components and parts of it. And there is software as well. So that's our way that we can identify what is a computer system in real life. We identified computer systems in everyday life, and we defined a computer system as a combination of hardware and software that takes inputs, processes them, and produces outputs. And finally, we described different types of hardware and software. So what types of devices do we connect to computers?